What's up? Hope everyone's having a good day and had a very Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. And I hope everyone's ready for another video in the series we like to call Underrated Throwers. Today we got Szymon Ziółkowski. He is from Poland. He's an 83-meter hammer thrower and the 2000 Olympic champion and the 2001 world champ, as long as a couple other medals in worlds and Europeans. I think he's very underrated because when he was really good, it was a very long time ago, and I don't think a lot of people know him or remember him, and I think he needs to get the props he deserves because he competed in probably one of the most dominant eras of throwing. You know, competing against Cosmos, Tikon, Deviatowski, Koji, Christian Pars, just a whole bunch of crazy good hammer throwers, just a plethora of 80-meter hammer throwers. And he beat a lot of them. And I think he deserves a lot of props for that. You know, and his longevity is crazy too. He was competing in World's Finals for a long time. And yeah, and he also one of the creators of one of the best hammers you can buy, the Szymon Ziółkowski hammers from Polanic. So that's cool too. And yeah, I think he's just underrated because a lot of people don't really talk about him that much, and I think actually he has very sublime technique. I really love his technique, as most Polish people do. I guess when people think about Polish hammer throwing, they think of Paweł Fajstek and Nowicki, but not a lot of people know there was someone before him named Szymon Ziółkowski, which I'm probably butchering that name because I'm not Polish. But I think he deserves the props. And actually, I think he might even throw further. I think his PR is 83.38. I think that's further than Fajstek. I don't know. I actually forget. It's close, whatever, regardless. One of them, I think, is the Polish national record holder, I think. You can fact check me on that. I don't know. I know Fajtek's PR is like 83 something, but I forget the centimeters. But yeah, I think Olympic champion and a world champ deserve his props. So this one's free. So let's start this off with just watching it. This is a qualifying throw from 2009. I picked this because it's a lot better quality. It's not like the furthest throw in the world, I think, because it's just a qualifying throw. I was originally going to do his 83-meter throw, but it was such bad quality, I figured you guys would probably just want to see. And at this kind of level, I mean, all his throws pretty much look the same. He's just a lot older here, so he's not moving as fast. But you guys will get the picture. If you guys want to watch older videos of him when he was like really good, watch them. They're on YouTube. I would recommend the 2001 World Champs in Edmonton, where he beat Koji, where Koji threw like 82, and then actually Ziółkowski threw his PR at the World Champs 83.38, which was the championship record before Tikon beat it, and now I think it's 83.63 from 2005 Helsinki. So one of the few things they didn't take away from Tikon, but we're off that. So let's get into it. Let's actually just watch that one more time because I love the way he moves. So you might be wondering about that spin he does at the end. We'll get into that, but we'll start from here. Nice, comfortable winds, good step in. So if you do the step in, it's very important that the step in occurs when the ball passes you. Alright? Because you want to establish that kind of tempo and that kind of rhythm. Okay, so just like in the turns, the ball passes you and then you move the legs. So if you're doing a step in, the ball passes, then the wind, and then you step in. Alright? So the ball kind of makes you step in a little, just like the ball makes you move your feet on the turns. All right, and I think he does an excellent job of that. So he's here. Good counter, reaches long. And boom, right here. Very nice. Waits until it gets to 90 for the feet move. And I think what he really illustrates that's really good is how much he drops the left knee through his turns. Right here. Very nice right here. Good catch. And you notice also he lands on the heel of the right foot and then kind of rolls onto the ball of the foot. But he only does that for the first turn and then he goes to the ball of the foot. Normally I like to see a little more flat feet, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's a personal preference thing. Normally, the majority of people will tend to land on the heel of the foot or the flat foot. Rarely do you see really good people do on the ball of the foot, but whatever. He does a lot of quirky things, but I really like them. So first turn done, really nice catch. Sits back extremely well. Always letting the ball pass before his right leg picks up. Very nice counter. Boom, right here. Really nice. Here. Good. And good. And then, so let's get to this finish. Because I'm not really saying that much on the turns because I've done a bunch of hammer videos. And he just kind of, I'll just refresh it for people who maybe haven't watched the videos. But if you haven't, go check them out. I'm not really saying that much because he's keeping the hammer in line with his belly button or like the right side, the right knee. And that's simply just because the hammer's moving so fast that the body is moving a little faster because of that. So you see really good people and they don't let the ball pass and then they kind of not move with the ball. Like the ball's still moving ahead of them, but they're keeping, you want to keep the ball basically in line with your belly button. All right? So normally you'll see people that throw like under like 60 meters or so. They'll let the ball pass and then they move the feet. But when you see the really good people, the ball tends to be in line with their right side. And I'm speaking as a right-handed thrower. And that's just because the ball's moving so fast that your body's going to naturally speed up. So it's a lot slower. Like the ball would not be moving nearly as fast if he waited for the ball to get here before the feet started turning. So the faster you move the ball, the faster you are going to turn. But the ball always has to move faster than you. So the really good people, you see how it's in line with his belly button right here? And that's what you want. But you always see that the ball always goes past 90 before his feet pick up. All right? So normally when you see people that keep the ball with their with their right knee, if they pick up here, then they're going to start pulling. But you notice how he always lets it past him. So you still got to let it pass you. And what I mean by that is, so this is 90. So basically, would you stop moving? There we go. Whatever. Okay, this is 0. That's 90. So here, he's always letting it past 90 before or around 90 before his feet start picking up. All right, so that's always what you want to see. All right, so he's not pulling and he's not like picking up early because he's still letting it past him. The ball's just moving so fast that it's just going to keep with his right side. All right, so I get into more detail about that kind of stuff in previous hammer videos, so go check them out. But I really want to get to his finish because I think that's a very unique thing that he does that a lot of people would probably think is wrong. But I'm going to explain why it's not wrong. Okay? And right here. So if you notice that he kind of does like the spinny thing at the end. And people are like, oh, I fell off the hammer. Well, let me explain why he didn't fall off the hammer. All right? And there's a very simple reason why he didn't. If you noticed, he's on the ground. Hammer's out of his hand, he's still on the ground. All right? Once you get to this point, the hammer's out of your hand. So nobody cares. Like, he's just trying to stay in the ring. So he can spin around wherever he wants. More importantly, you notice how he spins here on this side of the ring. That's because, like I say over and over, when you release, the hammer's got to be on, the weight's got to be on the right foot. See how there's barely any weight on the left foot? And that's because he's countering really hard. Because the release and hammer is just another turn, except you just release it at the end. But you got to think of it as another turn. Alright, so you notice he's here. And he's going like he's gonna like do another turn. Except he releases it. Right here. Alright? And that's a perfect textbook image right there. From here, the hammer's out of his hand. He's not adding anything to the hammer because it's not in his hand. So you could do whatever you want. It does not matter. Alright? Like, it just happens so fast that people would probably think that he just falls away from the hammer. But when you actually break it down, he's not. He's just spinning in the ring because, I mean, he's just trying to stay in the ring. And two, I mean, that's just a lot of people either just like slide their feet. Some people are good enough to stick it, like Koji or Litvinov. But a lot of people just kind of just slide their left foot to stay in the ring. Or some people do this. Adrian Anos famously like kind of just jumped a little bit. And kind of just like did like a little reverse, which is very quirky as well. This is kind of the same thing a little. But yeah, he's just trying to stay in the ring. And I mean, he could do a backflip if he wanted to. As long as he stayed in the ring, me personally, I do not care. Because this is the important part. He stays grounded until the hammer leaves his hand. And then from here, it just doesn't matter. You know? Because once emblem's out of your hand, it doesn't really matter what your body does. Now, I will say, if he like fell out of the ring and like was super off balance and whatnot, then that would mean that he probably and went that way. He probably meant that he pulled through the throw. So what you can do when you look at someone, and this is for every event, maybe not jack, but for the rotational events, like discus, shot put, and hammer, you can tell what someone did at the release depending on where they either like reversed or released or where their body weight's going at the end of the throw. So let's say like for shot put, if someone reversed, all right, and they stepped out or like fell out of the ring here, and this for right-handed throwers, that probably means that they pulled and that the implement is going to go that way. In most cases. All right, or if it's going here, if the shot put goes there, that means they over rotated at the finish and didn't have a really good block at all. All right, so you can tell from that generally, but that's if like they fall out of the ring. All right, and I'm not saying this is like the most perfect release in the world or anything. This is something he does. I don't really see very many other people do this. So, but this is also an important lesson in individualism, is that normally, like, I would say, like, maybe don't spin around, but because he throws 83 meters, it's something that works for him, and you just got to find what works for you. If you find some weird way to, like, stay in the ring or weird way to release that works for you, and you throw far with it, you know, don't change it. It's like Adam Nelson's left leg. You know, he threw far, so don't change it. And like Reese Hoffa's like heel turn out the back. He throws far with it, so don't change it. And just stuff like that. Like if you do like quirky stuff and you throw far like that, then don't change it. All right, there's no point. You know, everyone is very different. No one person throws the exact same. there are certain things that you gotta do to throw far in every event, but there's also a lot of individual things that you can do to throw far. But you have to find what works for you, and this works for him. So I would never say this is wrong. All right? He does everything right in the throw. All right? And also, I just really love his left knee when he goes. It's beautiful. In all his turns, the way it drops. And I think that's super important. A lot of people don't really think about dropping the left knee. But that's what creates that counter. Because if you didn't drop the left knee, you'd just be spinning around in a circle. But dropping the left knee, one, allows you to sit back against the hammer a lot better when it's high, when it's at its high point. And once it's here, now it keeps your knees bent and allows you to sit back even more. So I don't want to say stand up when it's down, when the hammer's down or at the low point. But you see how he's really down here, and then he kind of sits back and then hangs on it. That's why you gotta drop the left knee. I don't know how to explain that in the best way. I explain it better in other videos, so go check those out. But you gotta just drop the left knee. That's the most important thing. A general rule of thumb for like people who are beginners: stay in a quarter squat. All right, stay in like a quarter squat and just bend the left knee every time it goes high. All right, that's just a general rule of thumb, and that'll probably take you to like 50 or 60 meters. And then from there, then you need to start doing some other stuff. But I'm also not your guys' coach. So ask your coach if you have one. If you don't have a coach, then you can, ask me in the comments or something like that, and I can make a video about that. But, yeah. Hope you guys learned something. I'll link his height, weight, personal best, and notable accomplishments in the video description. And I'll see you all next time. And hope you guys had happy holidays and a happy New Year's. See y'all later.